Hello Pirates, and welcome to Battle Pirates Weekly Update number 4. Today is May the 27th of 2020 and we just had the update 1022, and tomorrow, actually today, later today, bounty starts. So let's first take a look at the update. At 3 p.m. Pacific time, meaning 6 p.m. Eastern time where I live, and about midnight, pretty much Thursday already, or 1 a.m. depending on where you live in Europe, bounty starts. And it runs until Monday. So it's a 5-day event. And the big prize we're going to have here is the new Hellswarm Conqueror hull. That comes with a built-in UAV, the Helldiver, and the Salamander Mortar is the weapon made to put on it. Of course, people can put a different weapon, but if the Trencher and the Warhounds are any indication, everybody's just going to put the design mortar for the ship. We're going to have a quick look at the bounty briefing in a few minutes. In the meantime, just know that the Judgment Day campaign is going to run in parallel. This is the one you can do with Punishers or Dragoons to get Punisher gear. Weapons, limited weapons, and kits, tokens, and so on. The most important one, it's the other TLC though, High Seas Heresy. This is the one you can complete with your Pegasus, or you can complete with your Zealots. And I'm linking a video at the end of this one so you can see that TLC being done with Pegasus. And it has 3 prize packs and then 5 times on the mastery, where you can get a build token and an upgrade token each time you complete mastery. So in total you can get 5 of each to make sure you can have your Zealots tip top for the raid in about 2 weeks. About the PvP update, they've clarified the criteria about win and losses. So if you hit a base and you do less than 5% to that base, it doesn't trigger medal exchange, meaning it will not consider that you failed. On the other side, it means you go into a base, you do more than 5% damage, and you retreat, it counts as a fail. So you're going to lose medals if you're higher on medals than the other player. I personally don't care much for medals, but I know some players do, so keep that in mind. And then still, if you don't do the 5% damage, that one hit, just a peak, counts towards the red bubble. And 3 hits within 48 hours triggers a red bubble. You cannot hit that player anymore. Talking about that, they fixed a few bugs. And one of them is that even after you hit someone 3 times and they got a red bubble, there was a way you could right click a base. It would attack the base even with the red bubble. They fixed that now. So in theory, if it's all according to plan, nobody should be able to hit another player 4, 5, 6, 8 times in a row, as I've seen during the weekend. They've also fixed the other issue, which is where attackers were not losing medal when the base defeated their fleet. So now it will cost them medals. A few changes and fixes for HTML5 and base planner on the R&D and so on. You know, if you're finding bugs with HTML5, there's a link where you can report them other than support tickets. So now let's take a look at the bounty top prizes. So here's bounty 32, the briefing. I already mentioned the start and end time. The event starts on Wednesday and the store opens 24 hours later. So score the points in the first 24 hours. Right then you can, after 24 hours, start redeeming for prizes, so you don't leave them sitting there. Top prizes, let's take a look here. The Hellswarm. It's a beast of a hull. It's very big. It's made to carry a very, very heavy mortar called the Salamander Mortar. If you look at it, the armor, it's 85 million. Keep in mind, like a Warhound has 47, if I remember it right. So it's a very, very tanky. It has the built-in UAV, so it has some bonuses for UAVs. Here you can see the swarm time cap, it's 1 second, so it only circles a building or a ship for 1 second, then it moves on. Has a huge chaining range of 100, so it can really move around. And it chains 10 times. Without adding any specials, it chains 10 times. It means it's going to hop from structure to structure to ship to structure 10 times. And each time it hops around, it does damage. The hull has an 85% explosive damage bonuses, which is going to apply more for the mortar. And when you look at the defense, it means defenders will have to adapt, because I know defenders are heavy on far sights, heavy on decimators, and you look at this hull, it has 275,000 ballistic deflection. It's huge. It also has 155,000 explosive deflection, making the Mongoose Tower a little bit less effective. But it's fairly standard on penetrative, corrosive, and concussive, and then it's really low on radioactive deflection. I would think about Hellmouths, because then, and the Hellmouth being a splash-based weapon, you look at the combat speed of 12. This hull is going to be really, really, really slow. And I mean, this guy, I haven't seen this kind of combat speed, I think, since the old Hammerhead Floating Fortresses day, when the ships had like a combat speed of 8, 10, stuff like that. So it's really slow. I guess that's why it's so hulky and it does so much damage. It has 3 weapon slots, 3 armor slots, 6 special slots, just like the Trencher and the Warhound. This is just the same. And you can see the UAV has damage of 150,000. And each ship, each Hellswarm, will fire 1 UAV every 10 seconds. They are limited though. They have a firing angle of 45 degrees. So you kind of have to have your ships pointing. I'm assuming that comes from the front of the ship. If it's from the back or the sides, we'll have to see. But if this is from the front, you have to be pointing at whatever you want the UAV to start chaining at. Here's the Mortar the Salamander. It says it's an adaptation of a base weapon. When you look at the damage here, 195,000 damage in a single mortar shell. It's huge. It has a range from 50 to 110 and anti-mortar evasion of 80%. So things like gales, which are accuracy based, they're going to miss 85% of times. The other impressive thing is the projectile speed of 500. Mortars usually have a projectile speed of less than 100. This is 500. This fires faster than most missiles and rockets, to give you an idea. So it's crazy to me that KXI would have a mortar firing that fast. What is unknown at this point is the firing angle, if it goes all the way up and then falls down, or if it's a very low firing angle, because that means it's just going to travel like a cannonball, actually, not a mortar. Very slow reload time, 16 seconds, and when it lands, it has fire field. This fire field will last for 6 seconds. You can have up to 5 of them burning, and they do 400,000. It's more than the actual damage. 400,000 damage per second while they burn. I'll give an idea for defenders. There is one tactical module that puts out fire fields immediately. So take a look at that, maybe equip in some critical areas so when these land, you don't get the fire field. There is what's here, the River Mountain. Just keep in mind, this is just a skin. This is not an actual extra mountain you can put on your base. It's a skin for the mountains you have. There's a badge, and that's it. I mean, here we can see the cost. Each new Hellswarm, 30,000. You can redeem up to 3. The mortar, it's not limited, so it's just one redemption, 25,000. Again, the mountain is a skin. It's very highly priced. If you're a skin collector and you can score a bunch of points, go for it. Otherwise, I would take a hard pass. Mongoose turrets, gatekeepers, and the scattergun for the gatekeeper are all feature prizes. And we'll be able to see the rest once bounty starts. There are leaderboard prizes for the top 500 players. You can take a detailed look at them here. And that's it. I hope that summarizes the updates well. Once bounty starts, actually after the update, you can already go on your shipyard on design mode and play a little bit with the hull. You know, keep in mind it's very weak against radioactive, so that's probably a kind of armor you want to put on it. And something for speed, because it's very slow. It's a creeper. It's a classic definition of a creeper. See you next week, pirates. Enjoy bounty, have fun, and see you around in the seas. Until next week. Bye.